Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important example for Model Context Protocol or MCP, where we will learn how to call a tool with the input arguments. And for that, we will create one demo program where we will call one tool that is for add operation, and then we will see how we can pass the arguments to it and what changes we need to do in server file and client file. So these all things we are going to discuss in this session, and by the end of this session you will be able to understand how to pass arguments with a tool in MCP. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on how to call a tool with input arguments. Okay, alright, so let's get started and see what we are going to cover. I think agenda is quite clear to all of you, and as I mentioned, like, you have to follow the session in series. So for that, what you can do, you can also refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. There you will find 3,800 plus sessions available in both Hindi as well as English language in a proper syntax and structured format. Okay, so it will help you to understand the things more appropriately, and it is available in both Hindi as well as English language. So as per your language preference, you can easily consume the content, and in case if you have any queries or questions, you can simply reach out to me through comment section. Okay, alright, so yeah, I think now we are good to start with the session. So let's see how we can perform the server process. So in server, what you need to do, like, I simply created one file that is MCP4 server.py, and here, like, I have imported the fast MCP, which is nothing but a tool that really help us to build the MCP server easily. Okay, so if you want to build the MCP server, you need this fast MCP. Okay, after that, on line number 22, we have created the server, and this time I have named the server as math server. Why? Because this server will help us to perform the addition operation, and that's why I give it a name as math server. Okay, so I just simply wrote MCP equal fast MCP math server. After that, what we are doing, we have created this MCP @mcp.tool, which is a decorator, which basically tells the program that after that what function we have defined is not a normal function, it is a special function, or you can say it is a tool. Okay, so we have defined that tool on line number 27. So define add, and we are going to receive two input parameters here. One is a for integer, second is b for integer, and then we will return the output as an integer itself. Okay, remember, whatever name you are going to provide here on the parameters will be used later in client file. Okay, so decide accordingly. For now, I am just using the term a, b, but I strongly recommend to follow the coding standard, write it properly. Okay, but I'm just preparing it for the demo, that's why I just created a and b. Otherwise you can give it a meaningful name so that you can easily understand it. So what this tool will do, it will accept two parameters, one is for a, one is for b, and then it will perform the addition operation on it, and whatever output we will retrieve from here will be returned from this tool. Clear? And after that, this line is, I think we have discussed this multiple times, so I'm not going to repeat this part every time, because we are not learning Python here, we are learning MCP, so we will just focus on that part. Okay, but I have provided a required comment, so you can, like, because you are also following it sequentially, so I think we are good with that. Okay, so till here we have created the server that can accept some input parameters from the tool. Okay, now the question is how we can call this tool and how we can pass the parameter to this tool. So for that, we will go to mcp client.py file, and here you can see I have explained everything. Like firstly we have imported the required thing, and as you are following it sequentially, so I'm sure you know what is async IO, what is client sessions, studio server parameters, client studio client, right? You all know these things because we have discussed it multiple times. So for now we will just focus on the next part. So here you can see we have defined the async def main function that tells the client how to start the server. Okay, so here we have defined the server params using studio server parameters. That's why we have defined it here, imported it here, and then it accepts two parameters. One is the command, that is Python, because we want it to execute it Python, and also the server name, which is MCP4 server.py. Okay, so this server params is ready to pass. Now later what we are doing, we are using async with studio client, and here we are passing the server params as a read write. After that we have async with client session, which is read and write as session. Okay, so then we have this handshake step where we will connect to the server. So await session.initialize, so it will basically establish the connection between your client and the server. And then we are just printing the message connection successful. So if the connection is successful, we will just simply show this message. Okay, so till now whatever we have discussed is the part of establishing the connection. Now we will talk about the new part, that is passing the arguments. So here what we are doing, you can see this time argument is not empty. We are actually passing the value of A and B that will act as a parameter, and then it performs the tool will perform the operation which is present in server file, and then it will return the output. Okay, and that output we will store into this result. So how you will pass the parameters, you will just write await session.call tool, method name is not method, tool name is add, okay, which is from server, you can see, and then we are passing the value of A, which is 5, and B as 15. Then we are printing the message tool called successfully, and then we are showing a result of add 5 or 15, result.content of 0.text. Now what is this content dot 0? Okay, so I think last time also I forgot to explain you this. So this is nothing but like when we call this tool, it returns a object, and from that object what we do, we fetch the text data, because our data is present in content of 0. Okay, other than that we also have error message, right? But we don't want to use that now. So our content is basically present in array 0th position. So we are just fetching the text from there and storing it into result. Okay, and then we are not storing, actually we are displaying it, because we already stored the content in result, right? So we are just displaying it here, and this is the line which we kept almost in every session. So I think we are good with that. So I think client wise also we are good. So let's execute this and see if it is working fine or not. So I just execute Python MCP4 hyphen client dot py, and then press enter. So when you press enter, it will show 3 messages. First, connection successful, that means connection is established successfully. Second, tool call successfully, and third is result of add is add 5 and 15 is 20, which is also correct. Clear? That means now we have got the final output as per our expectation, because this is what we are expecting from this server, right? So this is how you will create a tool that can accept some input parameters, and then it performs some operation and then returns the value. Okay, so I think this part is clear, and don't worry about the AI part. Okay, we will discuss that in upcoming session, but before that we are supposed to clear these concepts, otherwise we will get confused. Okay, so I think till here we are good, and in next session we will discuss new thing. But before that, you are supposed to answer one question. Okay, this is a one question for all of you, which I am preparing thoughtfully so that it will help you to prepare well for your interviews and exam. So today's question is, in the previous example, what did we pass as an argument when calling this hello tool? Because at that time we were not passing the input parameters, right? Or in other word, you can say how you will call a tool without input parameters, and in that situation what you will pass in arguments. Okay, I'm sure you already know the answer of this question, so please do share your knowledge in the comment section. And when you share the answer in comment, it will help us on 3 ways. First, it will really help you to recall your concepts, because we are learning so many things together, so it will give you the idea like what we are learning and what all things you remember. Second, if someone don't know the answer of this question, they can simply refer it from the comment section. And third, when you are writing the comment in comment section, it provides with a notification that you are referring this playlist, and on the basis of that number of comments itself, I will release the next session for these series. Okay, so if you want more session, please do share your knowledge in the comment section so that we can help each other. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today. See you in the next session with new topics. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.